Hi guys, Archwar Angel here. We're making a video tutorial for you guys on R&D, research and development. What you need to do, all the farmings and the basics, everything involved to getting your gear better socketed. And yes, let's start off with the first thing. The first thing you want to do is we want to farm exobytes. Farming, let's start there. So exobytes is the first and the most thing you'll be farming when doing this. And how we do that is just pretty much flying from building to building, and we're looking for the kind of a humming noise. Not that one. Now, if you buy radars, this becomes a lot easier. The fact is, with radars, you will see little dots on your mini-map and immediately know where to find them. So, as you can hear, this is the noise we were looking for. And there it is right there. Just walk up to it, grab it, and see what we get. And there I got a fortified exobyte, which is a blue. I'll pause till I get a red and a yellow, and then commence on with the rest of it. Let's see if this is the red. And there's an aggressive exobyte. So we're farming for blues, reds, and I'm going to show you a yellow now. Let's see if this is the yellow, guys. And that's a support exobyte. Now a little bit on how you farm. Normally they spawn on top of buildings. They spawn in between little sections of streets, on corners. Just fly, get used to a route that you follow and that you know they're spawning on. Like I know they normally spawn in between there, and as you heard, there's one there, and you just keep doing this over and over till you have enough of each, and they fill up in your bag, and they look like this. So I've got 16 stacks of reds already, yellow 10. You'll know how many you need as soon as I get to the table and explain that to you. Hi, the next section we will be talking about is plans. All of the plans you need to collect, which is all of these plans down here. This is beta plans. Beta plans, I'll show you now a brief of where you get them. 1s, 2s and 3s. Now, to get a beta plan, for instance in the Superman wing, you'll get to know where to farm them as you quest. Most likely you would know of some while questing, obviously dropping in certain instances. For instance, this is the JLA wing, or the JLA quest that you used to complete, and this is when you go in here, Lex Luthor drops a plan, for instance. I'll give you a quick look of how it looks when you get in there, and then I'll show you a drop as well. And there's various different ones, and I'll discuss that a little bit more in detail.
This is bad.
As you can see, it just plays off the cutscene, and you just finish this. It should take, if you're well geared, it shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes farming a plan out of here. And there we go. That's the plans that drop. Plans dominance and precision, dropped off Lex Luthor at the end. Pretty simple to do. And then normally you would have this little cutscene that plays off here. I'm not going to listen to Superman's talk, so I'm just glitching it out.
I'll teleport you both to the watchtower, and when you get
there we go. And that's the plans that drop. Now, if you run this over and over, like I said, you'll pretty much collect all of the plans for the beta plans that you can have. If you cannot do this, I think the only alternative to this would be farming them. If you're in Metropolis, there's where the judge is, which I'll show you now. I am back again. Here we go. This is the section I've been talking about. That's in Metropolis, where you want to head out to. I'll show you on the map. As soon as it loads up, that's where we are. It's right over here, Glenmore Square. So if you head over to here, this is the other section that you would be able to farm plans if you cannot farm them in the watchtower. That's only for the beta plans. And you just go in here, which is, it's the Spectre fight, if I'm right, what it's called. I'll cut the scenes out. This is pretty self-explanatory and really easy to run. So I'll just be pausing the video as I progress through this for you. And here we go, the final section of this fight is when you find Green Lantern and then you change the Spectre.
Eclipso shall not deprive me of my humanity. The time for his judgment is coming. And
this is the
vengeance will
easy
be both
part.
just and terrible.
And done. There we go, as you can see, we got a pair of plans there. Farm this over and over, and that'll give you all the plans you need as well. Hi, the next part we want to discuss is salvaging. What's salvaging about? It's taking gear that has no purpose to you, the blue or green gear that you normally would be selling, you can always also salvage them. By salvaging these items, you will get complex materials, which is these, and simple materials, which is these over here in my bag. Now, you need them, obviously, as materials as well to create mods, which I'll explain more in detail later. Another important thing to mention at this point is focusing elements. Focusing elements drop from tier 2, or from all the different alerts and raids within the game. Now, as soon as you do an alert, if you're looking, for instance, for focusing element 2, that would drop from a tier 2 alert or a tier 2 raid. Then focusing element 3 would drop from a tier 3 or alert or tier 3 raid, and it keeps going up. So obviously if you're wanting the 4 and the 5, that would drop out of your tier 4 raids. So when you kill the boss, you just need for these items, always need for them, because you will need them for any of your modifications in future. Now I'll show you how to salvage. We just go up onto the crafting table, which is in each one of your different wings. In the watchtower, if you click on the table and you open it up, it normally has a tab at the top here that says salvage. When you click on salvage, you can click on any one of the items you want to salvage. Like I want to salvage that at the moment, and that gave me a complex material, a simple material. Now I'm doing it again, and there's another simple material, and there I got another simple. So I'm getting a lot of simples at the moment. I'm doing this till we can get a complex, and another simple, and another. I'm not having a lot of luck at the moment. There's our first complex material. So you just keep salvaging in this manner. They all add up, and you can have stacks of 16 in your inventory, and then that's salvaging in a nutshell. Now what's the next thing we want to know? Okay, so we got all the materials we need. Now the brief about what assembly is about. Exobytes. Exobytes is what we need, that we make out of all of the aggressive and support and fortified exobytes that you collect in the world that we just farmed earlier. You can create these. You don't just create them randomly. If you do that randomly, it's kind of wasting all of your material, because you only need certain types for certain plans. So all you need to know is that this is the end result of all of the materials you farmed that you're going to be using to make a plan. It'll become clearer as soon as I get to the next section. Now I'll go over what, like for instance, the sodas you can make and stuff at the end of this video. I'm going to skip that for now, and we're going straight to Equipment Mods Alpha. Now Equipment Mods Alpha is something you want to put into a gear item. For instance, I made a video on how to get your CR to 50 quick. And there you drop the Astral Alloy set. Now I would personally only socket it with these type of modifications. The reason why is they're cheap, they don't cost a lot, and you still get the stat bonus, affinity bonuses of your gear, and you get a increase in CR instantly from it as well. So it doesn't take forever to finish your set off. Now what I mean by affinity bonuses, if I open up my character here and you look at my chest, for instance, I get an affinity bonus here, socket affinity bonus of 2.5% critical weapon attack chance. That is a great stat to add onto your character. So you want to socket according to your colors. Never socket out of color. Now a lot of people would say, oh no, but loading me with precision is so much worth more. Now what I want to say to that is, if you think to yourself, if you're using your skill trees to build 2.5% crit, that would cost you up to 7 points of skill points to get there. So to sacrifice that just to get 8 precision would really be, I cannot see the logic in that. So personally, I think that's a huge mistake. Sock according to your socket according to the colors of what your gear wants. In this case, on my chest, I need blue. The rule stays the same. A head would be yellow. Chest, back would always be red. Chest would always be blue. And you would sit with your feet red, belt red, hands red, shoulders yellow, and that's pretty much what you have. And each one giving different socket or affinity bonuses. So I hope that I touched over that briefly. Any more questions, just ask me and I'll answer them in the blog. Now, obviously, that's what you do in here. In this case, let's say we were looking for a blue. Now, according to your character is what the stats you're going to be using. If you damage, I prefer in a yellow socket, I put power and might. So if I had a yellow socket, I would go might and power alpha. That would give me 2 might, 6 power. So that's the whole idea of this whole gemming. Now, to create that, I need 1 tenacious exobyte, as you can see in the middle here, and I need 1 equipment interface alpha. Now, tenacious exobyte I make. How do I make it? By going up top into exobytes, clicking on tenacious exobytes, and it's asking me for aggressive exobytes, which are from 47, which is in my bag right now, and support exobytes, which is 48 that are farmed in my bag. So I can create one now. So for alpha mod, it's really cheap. That would have been one of those that I had to create. And where do I get equipment interfaces? Now again, equipment interfaces work according to the different plans. There's alpha, beta, and then your 1s and your 2s and your 3s. Now how you get them is simple. You just go right to this vendor behind the crafting table, and if you fly up to him, he's the person that sells them all. So they normally, obviously, as you can see, alpha is only $70. That's why I'm saying put alphas into that set. You're going to be replacing the pieces quickly. Then you get betas for 140, and then it starts interface 1. Now you'll need them as per the mod you're obviously making. In this case, I'm making an equipment interface type 5, which I already bought. Okay, it's in my bag for this demonstration. But depending if it's a equipment mod 3, you'll be buying equipment interface type 3. It's pretty logic. It says it right there, type 3. So by the, like in our case, I bought already a equipment interface type 5 because that's the gem I'll make for the purposes of this video. Now getting back into the table, as we scroll down, so all the different alpha ones is there. You can go through them, the stats, what you need to make. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm moving down now to show you the rest of this. What we have on the next section is the beta mods, which is a 1-up. So I guess if you really want to have a bit more stats in that set of yours, go for the betas. I mean, they're also pretty cheap to make, only 2 vengeful and a beta interface. A little bit more farming, but definitely better stats. Now, because like what my rule of thumb is if I have a tier 3 piece, I put a equipment mod 3 into the sockets of that. With the equipment type 3, it'll raise my item level of the gear piece higher, which gives me more CR. And at the same time, I'm getting a pretty decent amount of stats as well. And tier 3 pieces, you do not replace that quickly. Now, if I have a piece that's tier 3.5, which drops obviously out of Wayward Soul and the new tier 4 raids, you can, or operations, then with that I'd socket it with equipment mod 5 personally. I prefer that because I know I'm not going to be replacing that. It'll be the last item I replace. In the way that I build my character up, I prefer to replace my lowest item level on my character gear piece first, and then leave the highest item level for last. Meaning that way you always get the most CR increase on your character as you grow it. Now, like I say, I'm going to be skipping down. As you can see on the betas, it's still simple. You just need an equipment interface beta and a tenacious exobyte to create it. If you go up, now it's starting to get a bit more. Equipment mods 1, will need your exobyte of whichever color you need. You will need an equipment interface type 1, which we buy from the vendor that I just showed you behind me. And then it'll start using the simple materials which we salvaged out of the gear that was in our bag. If it goes up to the next one, you will have dominance and power. For instance, on equipment mods 2, now again extra materials start adding in the focusing elements, which drops out of tier 2 alerts and tier 2 raids. So you'll be needing on that on the bosses to get them. And then the next thing we want is equipment interface type 2. So which you buy from the guy behind me, complex material, simple material. So the rule of thumb keeps going the same. Now as you can see, there's our dominance and might, which is the modification we just created. Place this equipment socket to modify stats and raise the item level of your equipment, effectively your combat rate. Affecting your combat rating, obviously taking that up. It grants when placed in blue or red socket, which is great. In this case, my chest has nothing in it, and yippee, I'm just dragging that over, dropping it in. It's going to say socket items are not tradable. Socketing this item will consume the mod and add the properties to the item. Do you want to continue? Just yes, and it drops it in. And as you can see there, I just got a 19 might increase, 11 dominance increase, and I got my 2.5% critical attack chance increase on this item, rendering it almost a 25% increase in stats on this overall. 6 item level increase there, raising my CR to combat rating 75. That was like from, I should have shown you before, I was on 73. That's a 2 points CR increase just by doing one gem. Now, I hope that was helpful. Anything else I could have missed, just don't hesitate, leave me a message in there. And oh yes, I can actually continue. Nutri-sodas. What does Nutri-sodas do? If you look on the right hand side of this, it tells you right up there. On use of this item, it gives you 1450 health, which is pretty much a cola. It gives you power to self, but this is where it gets interesting. 120 restoration over 1800 seconds, which is 30 minutes that you get that. So it's really nice and handy for raids. That would be obviously a type 2, which only needs support exobytes, which you make with this, and you just create them right there. It's one easy, simple one to make. Soda Cola Enhancer you buy from the vendor where we buy the equipment mods right behind me. Soda Cola Extreme is obviously your colas that you have. So 6 of them will change into 6 of these, which is definitely a much better option. Vitamin sodas, if you go to my supplies type 3, they give you also 1800 but higher stats. So that's 96 vitalization that you can add if you're controller. On DPS, 157 precision over 30 minutes. I think that's a sufficient increase in damage on that run. Guys, I haven't been using this at all for my runs or videos so far. I haven't made them. I'm very keen to, so I'll be showing a bit of an increase on that. I reckon it should definitely up my damage as well significantly, but it is definitely something worthwhile to make for your raids. Just to show you where you get that soda cola enhancers from him, down there, and they're not that dear as well. Thank you for watching, guys. Like I say, any questions, just leave it down in the messages, or anything I didn't cover, I'll try and get on it for you.